Hello all, we're going to start soon. So we are going to start in the next 30 seconds. Welcome to day 3. So 10, 8, 7, 6, and let's start. Okay, so let me close this and let us start it. And this is something which we did yesterday. Okay, welcome all, and we're going to start right now because we have a lot to cover. Actually, I thought that yesterday we lost actually 15 minutes, so a lot of thing was lost. So we're going to start just now, means no time to waste. So we have done this thing till coloring. We were there. Today we are going to learn about a very important thing. Okay, that is known as a control component. What are control component? Control component are a way to use forms in React. Okay, so using forms, as when I was doing the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript part also, I always told that the forms are a very important thing. So here also forms are very important, but forms are handled in a different way. And we are going to see that how forms are handled and all. Okay, so let's do that. And one sec. So this is how actually the forms are handled. Okay, so see. So what happened here, when we are going to see it with the example, of course. So we are going to see that there is an issue, then we are going to come to this diagram. Okay, this diagram I have shown a bit earlier. It's okay, not okay. Okay, so let's go here, and this is what we have done that day. So let's create a new thing. Okay, so new component and all. New component I'm going to create, which is like demo form. So control. So these are also known as control component. Forms are also known as control component. There is a reason for that. We're going to learn why they're called. They're not that much easy, and then they are not that much difficult also. So demo form.js I'll do here, and then in this this will of course state class based RCC and export default and form. Right, so this demo form has been created. Let me show this demo form only now. So I will cut it, post paste. I'll remove all of these things. Okay, there are a lot of clutter is there, so I'll remove all of these things because I've posted the GitHub link yesterday also. You can take it from there. Okay, so this demo form has been shown. Now let us have some states here. It's better to have some email state here. Okay, email I'll have. So how to use this thing? Okay. Oh, I made some mistake. It should not be a functional component. Okay, it is functional component. It's okay. My bad. Okay, so here I'll do a first is the a constructor will be there because I will have some state known as email, maybe email, because we should start with email. Email will be empty string like this. So this is how we do it in React. So email is there. Then what will happen inside this return? I'll have a form. And here I'll have a div, because we know that I want to have everything on the different end. So I'll have a div, and then I'll have a label, and label C. The first thing is that, okay, it's very hot. Okay, first thing is that it is a HTML4. So HTML4 is there. So HTML4 is the replacement for for. Okay, so HTML4 is there, and here I'll have a user. Okay, not username, it will be a email, and this will be email, and then I will have an input type text. I'll have ID equal to email and value. So there is no name or something in React. Okay, there is a value. Value is very important in React because value is what will be shown. So value will be this dot state dot email, this sort of state dot email. So this is how it will be represented. This sort of state dot email with the value, because our email is basically in the start it is a empty string. So this is how we do it in React. Okay, so I'll do it. So this email field will be there. Let me have some space here. So email field will be there like this. Okay, let me now try to type here. Okay, let me try to type here, and I'll try to type. See, I'm pressing my keyboard. and I'm not able to type anything. I'm not able to type anything. Why I'm not able to type anything? So this is something to do with the React, how the React renders. I have told it earlier, how the React renders. When React renders, React only renders when there is a change in state. So actually what is happening, this component is not rendering. Although it is showing this state.email, it is showing that, but this component is not rendering. So this is how we do it in React. So this is how we do it in React. Okay. So what will happen, there will be this state.email just like we have, and then we have to have an on-change handler. On-change handler will create, and then I will tell means on-change handler will change the state. This dot set state is there. It will change the state, and it will take it as event.target.value or event.target.value, whatever it is, means whatever the user types. So the user types something. Suppose the user types n, so n will change, come here, because on-change handler is there, and this will change the state. The moment it changes the state, what happens, the render will run again. So whenever there is a set state, so set state will change the state, the render runs. So the render will run, and render will show the new state, this dot state.email, which is initially, suppose this empty string. Okay, so let us do this thing which they are telling. And here what I will have after this, I'll have a on change equal to this dot handle email change. These are handle email change. Okay, now what will happen, these are handle email change is there, and now we have to do it here. So this handle email change equal to event, because I have to make it an arrow function, or else there are a lot of things which is wrong will happen. This is the set state is email is event dot target dot value I'll do, and it is done. Okay, so this is like this. Okay, now let me come back here and I'll type something. Now okay, so it is coming, everything is coming. So now everything is coming and I'm able to type. So the same thing happens. So it is not something different. Every time it will happen like this. The moment I type something, this on change handler will fire this thing. The state will change. The state will take the event or target or value, whatever the user types, and then it refreshes it and it will come. So this is how it works. So everything else also will work like this only. But this was actually the main logic which I wanted to tell. So let us see a text area now. I'll have a div I'll have, and label I'll have in HTML4, comment I'll have, and then I'll have a comments and text area I'll have. I don't need the column and the rows. It always give. Okay, so name will be now comment. ID will be, of course, ID will also be comment, because that is in the HTML4. Those who don't know, I have told this earlier also, there is no for in React, because for is a keyword. For, class name, and all those things are not. The class is not. The class name is there. Instead of for, we have HTML4, because for is a keyword, because it's a JavaScript file. So this is like this. Comments I have given, and on change is like name is comment, ID is comment, and on change is equal to this dot, and so we can make anything, handle comment change, handle comment change I'll do. Now again I have to do this thing here. The same. Okay, one thing I forgot to do, which is this, an empty state of comment, which is the empty string like this. Okay, so this I'll do. Now I'll do a handle comment change equal to event and equal to this dot set state, and this will be comment is event or target. Same thing, same concept we have to return do again and again. Okay, so this is like this. It will come, and this will be coming here, and this is a comment. So I'm able to type. So everything is fine. Yeah. So now the next thing which we are going to do is select or a drop down. We're going to do. Okay, so I'll come here and I'll do maybe there should be some BR and all, because I'm not styling it now. So BR should be there. Okay, so again BR is there, and div is there, and this will be label is like LNGUAGE language, LNGUAGE language. So there select is there. The name is okay. Name is not required. Okay, name is not required here, because we don't require name in React. Okay, so that is there, and this is a NGUAG language, and value is equal to this dot state dot language. This is state dot language, and on change is equal to this dot handle lang. Let's have this handle lang change only I will have. Okay. Then I will have some options here. Options here. Maybe English is a good. Okay, English I'll do. Spanish I'll do. I want to take. That is okay. So this is like the value we do it. Okay. So now what will happen here? I'll come here, and here language language equal to, it will not be an empty string, actually it will be one of this value. So ENESFR. So I will go do actually ES is Spanish I'll do, because this value, so whatever value we give actually here, so this is state dot value and on change handler. Okay, on change handler also have, on language change handler also have to make, which will be exactly a copy of this thing. On language change handler equal to event, and this dot set state, and language equal to like this, it will be there, and it will be exactly like this. So but the main thing is there, I've given here language equal to English, the value yes Spanish, so the value have given, so the by default Spanish has been selected, and I can select anything else also. So this is very important, this is very important thing. Okay, and I am not telling for checkbox and radio boxes, that is your assignment, that you all people should check how to do the checkbox and assignment. This is a very important thing, as I'm telling this, form is an integral part of any project in which you are going to work. Form is an integral part of any project, so that is there. And now what we are going to do, we are going to have a button. Okay, we're going to have a button PR, and button is like submit, it's like this here, and type equal to submit, type equal to submit is there, and I'll save it. So this button is there. But now when the type equal to submit button is there, what we can do, we can come in the form, and the form I can have a on submit, I can have on submit equal to this dot handle submit. So I'll have this dot handle submit. So I will come here, this dot handle submit, and I will create it here, handle submit equal to event. And the first thing which I have to do is the event dot prevent default. This is a must, or else it refreshes the form. Well, that is a must, and then I can do anything. Maybe I will okay, that is a good thing. Alert, I will do alert email, or okay, email comma or comment and language. Okay, that will be okay. Okay, so I'm just alerting all these things. Okay, so that is like this. So I'll do this, and I will write an email like this. This is a comment, and the language is, let me change it to English, and then I will submit it. See, I'm getting all these things here like this. Okay, so this is how it works, and this is working quite fine. Okay, maybe a comma like this, like this, save it. Okay, this is a comment Spanish, and it is coming out. Okay, so this is how it is coming, this is how we do it. And now, as I've told, this is up to you to do the checkbox and the radio box. So I've done this. Okay, now we are going to come into one of the most important topic of React class base, which is the lifecycle methods. Lifecycle methods are very important, because when we are going to go into hook-based React, then also we have to see this lifecycle methods, because this is something which is replaced in the hook-based React by one hook only, that is known as use effect hook. So we are going to start now. Okay, so like this, and we're going to see a bit of theory. It is not like that we're going to see completely theory. So this is something slide which I have. So let us start with here. So actually there are different life cycle phases. Okay, so there the different life cycle phases are the mounting life cycle phases, updating life cycle phases, unmounting life cycle phases, and error handling life cycle phases. So the mounting life cycle phases are when an instance of the component is being created and inserted into the DOM. Means when initially something is being shown, this mounting lifecycle method runs. Okay, updating lifecycle method runs when the component is being re-rendered as a result of changes in either props or state. So props or state are something which gets changed. Okay, so you can change it just like in this thing. When I was clicking, when not only even clicking, I was just writing something, the state was getting updated. So this updating lifecycle method runs at that time. And when does this mounting lifecycle render runs? When the initial render is there. So there was nothing. I have not touched anything. That time the initial render works. So what are lifecycle methods are different phases. You can control React component. Okay, you can control React component in different phases. You can control. Okay, it's like that. So that is there. Then lifecycle methods are like mounting, constructor, static get derived from, all of these are there. And I'm going to tell you only tell you the important lifecycle method which are being taken in. Although a lot of lifecycle methods are there, actually there are only three lifecycle methods which are taken in the hooks also. Hooks also they are taken because they are very important, and I'm going to tell which are they. And they are the only one which you are going to use in hooks. And hooks, see, your main goal should be to learning hooks, because you're going to go in a new company, they are going to tell you hooks only. You have to go in a startup and they're going to start a new project, it will be in hooks. And hooks we are going to start from tomorrow. So that is like that. And now the mounting lifecycle method. Mounting lifecycle method have constructor, static get derived state from props, render, and component did mount. So these are the things which are there. Okay, so then after that, what is the constructor? So this is the order in which it runs. Okay, we have seen constructor and render. We have not seen these two things. We are going to see in this seed. So mounting lifecycle methods. Constructor is a special function which is involved whenever a new component is being created. The constructor is perfect for initializing the state, binding event handler. We are seeing this thing, but don't do HTTP request from a constructor. Need to call a special function superpos. We do call a special function superpos. This is required to have access to this dot props in our component. Okay, that is like that. Can set state directly with this dot state only in constructor. This dot state is there only in constructor, nowhere else. Everywhere is able to do this dot set state. Then this get derived state from props method is there, which is this is a rarely used lifecycle method. We are going to see that actually it's a rarely used lifecycle method. We don't use it that much. It is used when the state of the component depends upon the changes in props over time. So this is something is there. We're not going to use it much. Need to return a new state or a null. So that is there. Then we have a mounting methods like render. Render is the only required method. See, it is like that. It is not required to have a constructor, but a render is a must, or else nothing will be shown on the screen. So this is the only required method. Reads props and state and return JSX. Don't change state or interact with the DOM or do HTTP request from this render. You should not do that. Children lifecycle component method are executed after render. So that is there. And now mounting methods. Last one is this component did mount. So this method will be called only once. Okay, and it is actually a very important lifecycle. It has been invoked after the component and its child components are rendered in the DOM. Perfect place to interact with the DOM and do HTTP requests. When we are going to learn to do API calls, okay, that is the most important part of a React, to do API call. Okay, and those API call we'll do through component did mount. Okay, child component lifecycle methods are also executed after render. So it's time to check it through all good code. Okay, so we are here. So let us create something. Okay, so demo form is done. We'll go here and I will create parent life cycle.js, parent life cycle.js, RCC. So this is there, and now the parent lifecycle will be called from here. Parent lifecycle will be called. It will be called like this. So then here I will have a r const, and here I will have a name is parent lifecycle. Parent lifecycle, and we'll place a lot of console.log. See, because the main thing is that we want to learn how the data flows in a React. That is very important to learn. So console.log, okay, parent lifecycle constructor. And now the next thing is we're going to have this static get derived state from props and state, and then log parent lifecycle method get derived state from props, and I'm going to return the null. Return the null is there, and then I'll have a component mount is there, and this, and parent cycle lifecycle method. So component did mount is very important. These are the lifecycle methods. Okay, and the last thing is that in this render, I will have this here inside this. Here I'll have a console.log parent lifecycle render, and in this return, I'll have a h1 and not parent lifecycle method. What I'm going to do, this dot state dot name. Let me take this name. So parent lifecycle method. So this will be shown like this. Okay. So now we want to see what is what is the pattern, what is the console log, how it is coming. And so let me do it like this. Let me refresh it. Okay. So see, the parent lifecycle constructor has been run first, then the get derived state from props is done, then the render is run. Okay, so I have given this earlier, but it is not run like that. It runs at the last. So this is running after that, and this is something which actually the way we have seen. Okay, it will run like this. So this is how it runs. This is how it runs. So that is there. Now we are going to have a child also. So what will happen if you're going to have a child? And this is something we're looking at, mounting lifecycle methods. So there is a updating lifecycle methods also, which we have not seen yet. This is a mounting lifecycle method. So, and this is a very important topic, as I told, most important topic in React. Okay, so child life cycle.js and rcc like this, and support default child life cycle. So that is there, and then our const is like this, and our const is like this. I'll have a okay. Let us do one thing. What we are going to have almost the same thing. Everything will be same like what is here. So let me do one thing. Let me copy all of these things and paste all of these things. Why to type it again? And then this parent lifecycle is we are seeing. Instead of this parent lifecycle, we'll have everywhere this child lifecycle thing. Okay. So C, Control F, parent lifecycle. C, Control V. Instead of parent lifecycle, all the places I will have a child lifecycle. So name is child lifecycle, all these things. It is like this. Okay. So everything is okay. So let me save it now. Okay. So now where we are going to show this child lifecycle. So we come back to this parent, and here I'll show after this h1. I'll show this. Okay. And for that, I will have to have a fragment, or else it will give me an error. And here I'll have a child life cycle. So like this I'll have, and the moment I save it, see what will happen. So it will show me all of this thing. So see the order. The order is very important. Parent lifecycle constructor is run first, then this get derived state from props is run. Okay, then this render is run, then this render is done, then it goes. Okay, then this render is done from parent lifecycle, then it goes here constructor get derived state from props, then the render is done, then even the child component did mount is done. At the end, the parent component did mount is done, and that is very important. Parent component did mount run at the end. And what we can do here, most of the time you should do the API call from the highest component only. So that is why we do it from here. Okay, so that is like this. This is done. Now we are going to look into the updating lifecycle method. So where is updating lifecycle? So updating lifecycle methods, again, let me make it a bit bigger. Updating lifecycle methods are a bit different. So here we have a static get derived state from props. Some different method is there. Actually, it's the same method. But see, the next method is should component update. Should component update is totally different method. Then we have a render is there. Then we have a get snapshot before update is there, and component did update is there. So here we don't have component did mount. Notice that we don't have constructor also. they don't run when we update something. That is very important logic. They don't run when the state or the props getting updated, and updating lifecycle method will only run when the state or the props is getting updated. Okay, so now here is the updating lifecycle method. First of which is get derived state from props. We know what it does. Then the second one is should component update. Decides whether component should re-render or not. This method is mainly for performance optimization, do not do HTTP. Actually, this method I have used a lot in production also. In bigger ReactJS project, what used to happen, a lot of time the render, we don't need the render a lot of time. See, when a project have got 1 lakh lines of code, at that time too much rendering will slow down the project, and that happens in production project. After 1 or 2 years, every project have more than 1 lakh lines of code, so that happens in production. Okay, so then you should not do the HTTP request, and you should not you should, so then use of performance optimization. But in React hooks, they have changed it in a different way, so that is there. So now updating lifecycle methods random. So the thing is that it is the only required method. Okay, and this we have come. What is the render? Why I'm reading it here? So get a snapshot before update. Again, this is not called that. It is not used that much. Called right before the virtual DOM. We're not going to use it anyway. I've even not used it in production anytime. Okay, so the main method here is a component date update called after the render is finished in the re-render cycle. Use a snapshot from above. Get a snapshot before update method can be used to do HTTP request. So that is something it is there. So now that is done, and let us now understand it. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to update our code to have the 3 new lifecycle methods. Actually, we saw 3 new lifecycle methods. This get derived state from props was already there, so we are going to see those 3 new lifecycle methods. So after this, I'll come and I'll do should component update. Should component update I'm going to do, and then I'm going to do console.log parent lifecycle method should component update is there. Then I will have a return of true. Then I will have a get snapshot before update. Okay, and it takes priv ops and priv state. It takes this thing, and then I will have a parent lifecycle get a snapshot before update is there, and it have to return a null or else it doesn't run. And then the last thing which I'm going to have is the component did update. Component did update will be there, and this will be like component did update is there. And now we have to change the state. Okay, they don't run on their own. We have to change the state, and for changing the state only, we have actually created this state called at name, whatever it is there. So what we're going to have, we're going to have a button, and we're just going to change it to something else. Okay, so we're going to have a button we are going to have, and this button I'm going to have a change state. I'm going to have change state, and then I'm going to have a on click equal to this dot set state, and name is TWD. Name is TWD, parent lifecycle method. I'm changing the name to TWD. So this is like this. I'm setting the state directly here, change the state. So that's how it will run. So let us do the child lifecycle method also at the same time. So this were the 3 new things. So we are going to see both the example at the same time, because then the child is also there. So I will do it here like this and control F, parent lifecycle method to child lifecycle. Three places it is there. So I'll change at all the 3 places, and it is done. Save it, and it is already saved actually. So let us do again. Okay, so come here and I refresh it. So the first time what is done, this is the mounting lifecycle method. Constructor, get derived state from props, render, constructor, component did mount. Okay, now I will delete it. Now I will change the state. Now see the thing. I will change the state. So now what happened? Get derived state from props is should component update is been run. Should component update. Then the render is been run, then again this get derived state from props should component update, and the render is been run. So we don't have anything like a component did mount and all. Okay, then again this get snapshot before update, and at the end component did update is running. So this is how it works. And I will tell you one thing. So all of this method, you can forget all of this method. Most of them you can forget. Like you should never use a get data set props in production. Nobody uses it. Nobody uses should component update nowadays. Nobody uses this thing. Only the 2-3 things which you need to understand, and by that it will be very easy. Is one thing is that component did mount you should know, component did update you should know, and render anyways you will know. In function component, render is written only, so that no need to know. And there is no constructor in a functional component, so that also you don't need to know, because state we do it in a different way. So only the main thing is that you have to know this component did mount and component did update, and only know this thing component did mount run during the initial render when nothing is, when we don't touch anything, when we don't change the state. So when you change the state, then the component did update. So this is the only thing which you need to remember. So that is there. So this is done, and now what we are going to do, we are going to, now this state thing is done, we are going to now learn about refs. So what are refs? So refs are very important thing again. So let us learn about them. Okay, so what happens in React? See, the way we were accessing the DOM is through a state. So that is that concept is known as the concept of a virtual DOM. Okay, so we are accessing through a state, this dot state, and all those things we're doing. So we're accessing like that. So, but sometimes what you need to do, especially when React started in the earlier part, means in 2015 when it started. At that time, jQuery was very popular. jQuery used to directly interact with I mean, even before that, because before that, then Angular came, but a lot of libraries were in jQuery. So what used to happen, jQuery interact direct with the DOM. And it is not a good thing. And in React, it is said that you should never interact directly with the DOM. It slows down React. But sometimes you don't have any other option than to directly interact with the DOM. Because some of the bigger packages, when you're going to work in React, you'll see that some of the bigger packages are there. So those packages are there. So you have to use those packages. So when you're going to use those packages, what you're going to see? You're going to see, okay, so like this, this package is not there in React. Now, React has a lot of npm packages. You can see when you're going to work in a React project, you're going to see there are a lot of npm packages, for everything. But suppose some npm package is not there, and you have to use a jQuery package which uses DOM. Then what to do? Then you have to use the refs. Or there are some special cases are also there. Some special cases are also there in which you have to use the refs. So okay, so let us get started with using the refs. So here and there, and I'll create a component known as refs demo.js. I'll do, and here I'll do a RCC and export default refs demo. I'm going to do so. Now I will have inside this div, I'll have an input type text. I'm going to have a type text. I'm going to have just an input type text. Did I apply that? No, I have not given that. So I'll come here and give this refs demo. Here, refs demo here. Save it. So this input box is there. Okay, this input box is there. I don't need this console anymore. So we are going to first add functionality to it using refs only. So how to do that? So first thing is that I will declare a ref. So there is a way to declare a ref, and again we have to do it in the constructor. Const is there, and super pop is always there, and we don't have a state right now. So we are going to look into a way in which we don't use state. We do something directly, like this dot input ref equal to react.create ref. So what is this dot input ref? This is a reference function in this dot input ref, and we do it by react.create ref. Now what I can do here I can directly do is like this, ref equal to this dot input ref, this dot input ref, and I'll save it. Now see this thing. Now I am able to even type in it. So we don't even need the control component and all. Okay, the React team actually says that it is a very bad thing to do it through ref. But I've seen in production a lot of people like to do it through ref, because when we do it through ref directly, I can get access to the value. What is there? If I go back to this form, you'll see there are a lot of logic is there. I have to first make the state. I have to then make the this dot sets, this dot state dot email, and I have to do the on change also. Here we don't have to do anything. We just have to do this thing. And one more thing which I have learned recently is that this doesn't re-render also. So this is something also beneficial if you're looking for performance. So yeah, so I was doing some reference thing in React Native, and soon, because soon React Native will certification will also come to this channel. So I have to do some I know React Native, but I have to learn back a bit some things. I was preparing something. So React Native is last week of this month. Next week is Redux week. So that is there, and this you can directly use it like this. Okay. And one more thing, you can use some extra functionalities also. We're going to see one extra functionality like this, and there is something known as your focus, which is there only. See, this is known as a focus. By default, if I refresh it, this focus will not come. But I want by default the focus to come because it's a good user experience, and this focus is only there in your DOM. There's an element, there is a thing which is known as, I will tell you, which is known as a so we have to do it in component demand. Why in component demand? Because component demand runs during the initial render. So I'll do into component demand, and I'll do this as this dot input ref dot current dot focus. So current dot focus means, see, the moment I do this, and see, it will come automatically. Even if I refresh it, automatically this focus is coming. So this focus method is only in the DOM. You cannot do, if I want this focus to happen, I have to use refs, no other way to use it. So that's why this refs is very important. Okay. So one more thing is that what I'm going to tell is that, okay. So there is a value also. I can get the value, whatever the user types. So let us understand that how to get the value. So for that, I'm going to have a button, like in the button, I will have click, just a click, and on click equal to this dot handle click. I'll have handle click, and then this handle click, let us have this handle click equal to this, and have a console.log and user and third like dollar this dot input dot current dot value. So with current dot value, I can get the value here in the, okay, again close the demo form. Okay, so this, if I open this demo form again, so you'll see this value we are getting like this, then we have to change and all these things we have to do. So we don't have to do like this, we can directly get it like this, input dot current dot value. So if I do this, and if I open this console, and I write this is ref, and I'll go back to this console and I will click on it. This is ref is coming. This is how the refs work. So we are done with refs. So now we are going to look into another very important logic, which is known as context API. So context API are what? Context API, all of you must have heard about this. This is very popular thing because there is something known as Redux. A lot of people say it is replacement of Redux. Redux is used for state management. And context API is also like this. See, when we pass data a lot with React from the parent component to the child component, but there are certain cases it is not a good way to pass it through props. Either you should use context API if it's a medium level application, or you should use this thing known as Redux, which you are going to do next week. In fact, Redux is much suitable for production projects. And if you're going to give a React interview, there 100% it will be there. The interview will ask you for Redux. So this context is there, and like this, do and copy. So this is something which we do because of context. Suppose I want to pass some data from app component to the component C, but there are component A and B between them. So I have to pass the data forcibly to A and B, because it is like this: app component is there, A is the grandparent, then this is the parent, this is the children. So pass through all of them. And suppose there are 100 components between them, you have to pass through 100 components like that. This is a very bad way to code. So that's the reason we have context API and also Redux, which you're going to do next week. So let us come here, and after this I'll come and we're going to see the context API. So here I'm going to create first child.js. I'm going to do child.js, and here it is again RCC like this, default export default and child. Export default child is there. So let it be HP. And then after this child, I will have a parent.js rcc for default parent, and this parent will actually call this child. Looks like this. Will call like this. Save it. So parent will call the child, and now I will even have the grandparent. Grandparent.js, and from here I'll call the parent. So the hierarchy is like this. Now what I'm going to do, this grandparent will be called from your app.js. So grandparent, I'll come here and call it from here. So we are doing something like this only. So I'll do this. And now if I come here, so it will show the child. Because child is from app.js is showing the grandparent, grandparent is showing the parent, parent is showing the child, and child is having a h3 of child. So it is showing like this. Okay, so that is there. Now I want to pass some data from this app component to the child component. So if I want to pass some data, I can pass it through props, but I don't want to pass it through props, because if I pass it through props, I have to pass through the grandparent, then the parent and the child. But I want to pass from app directly to the child. So how to do that? And this we do with something known as context. So we have context API, and we have used context hook also. We're going to see it in hooks also. So both ways you'll see it is almost same, but we're going to see that. Okay, and we're going to revisit this again because there is hooks also are there. So I'll come here and your components, I'll go and I'll do a user context.js is there, and here it will be a different kind of a format, and it is like import React from React will be there, then const user context equal to react.create context, and const user provider equal to user context provider, const user consumer. So one thing is there, what is this context API? Context API have a concept of provider and consumer. From anywhere when you want to pass some data, we have to send it to provider. From anywhere you want to get the data, we have to get it through the consumer. So this is different than props thing, and it can be 100 level deep, it can be 1000 level deep. It doesn't matter. The app and that component can be 1000 level deep. It doesn't matter. From wherever you're sending the data, you have to do something with the provider, and from wherever you're getting the data, you have to do something with the consumer. The logic is like that, as simple as that. So I will go here, and in this app.js I'll go, and then this div app is there. So I have to wrap wherever I'm passing the data, I have to wrap it with the user provider. So I'll come here and I'll do a user provider like this, and actually, and I have to wrap it with this. Okay, it is like a child component like this. Okay, I have to wrap it with this, and I'll save it, and then this user provider value equal to, like, maybe I'm passing Naveen. And here one thing is there, this is a keyword, value is a keyword. Okay, I have always said in props you can pass anything like name and anything you can pass, but here this value is a keyword. This can be anything, you're passing anything, this can be anything. So I will save it, and this can be anything. So now I will directly use the data in this child.js. Okay, I don't have to pass it to grandparent or parent. So how will I use the data? So here the logic is a bit complicated. I'm going to show a different logic also. There are actually two ways to do this thing. First way is a bit difficult, and this is known as a render props way, which you should avoid in most of the cases, but it is there because it's the older way, and there is a newer way is also there. So we're going to see the newer way also. So first thing is that I will remove this thing because it is going to get a bit complicated. And the first thing is that we have to do a user consumer like this. User consumer we have to do, and then I have to do like this, and here I have to do a user like this, and then return is like this, and like this we have to do, and then here h1 child, we were having that child, but we want to have this other thing is what is this user. So hello user. So what is this user? User is nothing but whatever I'm passing from here, this Nabindu, and this again, but this is not a keyword. I can take anything here. Okay, user I will do and see hello Nabindu is better. The main thing is that Nabindu is coming. So how it is coming, that is the main thing. So this is how it is coming. So you have to use this pattern like this. This is known as a render prop pattern. This is a bit complicated pattern, and what happens, we're going to see when you're going to do hooks, we're going to see that if I'm going to pass another another value, like if I'm going to have like user provider, in context what happen if I want to pass something else, so you have to create another context, like maybe a channel provider, then I again have to wrap it with this thing we cannot change, but this pattern become complicated, and we are going to see this later on how this pattern become complicated. It becomes very complicated actually. We are going to see it in hooks actually, because we are going to revisit this thing. Hooks also, when we are going to use, we are going to see this till here everything is same, but there is a easier way. That easier way is different. So we are going to see the easier way now. So what is the easier way? So this is very complicated. Suppose I want to again see the same data, but I will show it in the parent component. I can do it in the child, but it's okay. Again, I'm because I want to have this code there for all of you. So we are going to do it here. So here what we need to do first is okay, one thing is there, I have to do a default export also. Export default is like this, and user context, the whole of these things I'm going to do user context. Now I'll come here, and in this parent I'll go, and here import user context from user context I have to do, and then we have to do something known as static context type. So this is actually the problem here is that all of these things are keyword, a lot of keywords we are using, but now what is there, I can directly use that value. Okay, so like this I'll do here like this, and one and this dot context, this dot context I can directly say it like this dot context. See, this dot context and the parent is coming. So but here everything is easy, you don't have to do any pattern, you can just write like this and you can use it with this dot context. Okay, so that is there, but a lot of keywords are there, and when we're going to use hooks, we're going to see that there is a use context hook, and which is very easy. We are going to start hooks tomorrow, because now we're going to do the last topic in a class-based component, and that is the most important topic. That is the HTTP. How to do HTTP request. See, the most of the time when you're going to work as a front-end developer, what is going to happen, you're going to do a lot of HTTP request. Okay, HTTP request, because the backend person will going to give you some API endpoint, and you have to hit the API endpoint and get the data and display it. That is the work of a front-end engineer. So that's why this is the most important thing. So let us do the HTTP request. Okay, and HTTP request, we can do it in two ways. One is with fetch API, which I have shown in JavaScript and all, and the other way is through Axios. So this time we are going to do it with the fetch API, because we are going to learn through, we can do it through Axios also. We're going to learn to do it through Axios in the hook path maybe. Okay, so we can do it in both way. Hook Axios, you have to install a small package. So sometimes people don't like it because you have to install a small package. But what happens with fetch API? Fetch API, you don't have to install anything. Fetch API is inbuilt, and that's why also fetch API is the only option to do this API calls when we are using a vanilla JavaScript project. Vanilla JavaScript project doesn't have a node modules. We don't have something like this node modules package.json. Whenever we have package.json, that time only we can install npm packages, or else we cannot install npm packages. So in vanilla JavaScript project, fetch API is the only option, but in React we have two options. One is the fetch API, one is your Axios. So but we are going to see fetch API right now, and which endpoint we are going to hit. We are going to hit that most famous endpoint, which is JSON placeholder post endpoint. So this endpoint we are going to hit, and it gives an array of objects. So let us hit this endpoint and see how this data and all will come. So let me first close all of these things. This app.js is there, and here I will have a new component which is like post list.js is okay. Post list.js is there. Okay. Okay. Maybe I'll do user list. I'll hit some other endpoint. Okay. What user list? Okay. There's another endpoint like users. So let us hit that endpoint. Users endpoint will hit. So we'll hit this endpoint and RCC like this and export default user list we have to do. Now save it, user list, and let me not delete it around. Let me like do it like this because I want all of you to see this code actually. So I'll have this user list. I'll have so like this. I'll have this user list, and now inside this user list, maybe it is showing. Yeah, user list has been shown. So we're going to do the API call. So how the API call will do it? So I will do a rconst, and the first thing is that we're going to get a users something like this. And what is there? It is an array of objects. So what I have to do? I have to have it like the users, and I will have to have it like this array of object like this. I have to have. So like this I'll have, and now what I need to do after this return is there. Let me have this as a h1 after this. User list is okay, and then I have to do the API call. So how do the API call? So we do the API call from component did mount in a class-based component did mount, because component did mount we have already done. Component did mount is the only place to do the API call. And component did mount, one of the main reason is also that the component did mount runs after the render. After the render is done, it is done. It is something like after all the HTML is been loaded, then we're going to do this API call, and that is a must for vanilla JavaScript projects also. You might have seen that the script tag with the main.js, we do it at the end before the body is ending, for that reason only. So the JavaScript should always run at the last. So the API call should always run at the last only when the DOM has been loaded, means when this user list and all these things are shown. So that's the time to do it. So we are going to come here and do a component did mount we are going to do, and we are going to do this thing. Component did mount have done, that is done. And then we are going to use the async await. So we are going to use the fetch API. I have told about this thing, I think in the JavaScript DOM I have told. Okay, so I have told at that time also. This is the most important part of the code. So we have to make this component did mount as async. This is at the end of it, this is also function. Okay, so then we have to do a const URL equal to this users. I'm going to do, then what I'm going to do, I have to do, it's a two part. Fetch API is always two parts. So okay, and this fetch URL, and then I have to do a const data equal to response.json, which is like this. Let me do a console. First let me do a console.log of whether the data is coming or not. Console.log of data. I'm going to do, let me save it, and let me come back here. Let me, okay, see, it is already open. So the data is coming fine. Okay, so data is coming fine. Now I want to show it here. So how to do that? So for that I have this state. So no need to worry, I have to just do this dot set state is like this, is like users is like data, users is like the data. So whatever the data is, I'm pushing into the users. So this list will be full. Now I have to show this. So now I have to show this. So I'll come here, and this is like this dot state dot users. I can show it. This dot state dot users, but let us destructure it. So const users is equal to this dot state. I do, wait a sec, attendance on why you are in such a hurry. I'll give it 9:30. So because I know that moment I give attendance from all of you will go away. Maybe I have to I'm going to change it from next week. I'm not going to give the attendance form at the end. I will give it at any time. I have thought of something. Okay, so like this, and users list is there, and now we are going to do users, and I'm going to do and then Okay, users and users dot length I'm going to do. Okay, users is there. So first thing is that I'm going, what, why I'm doing this users. Okay, why I'm doing this users. So the users I'm doing because what is happening here, the data gets loads very fast. Okay, data gets loads very fast. So what happened here, the users is, if I don't give like this, so this and operator we are using, so this and operator we are using, so what happens here, it will get load very fast. Okay, so first time this API call generally take 1 or 2 seconds, so it will even not wait for that. So always we have to do this like this, users and users dot length we have to do. Then I'll do and then, so users dot length means if it is empty array or zero, it will not show anything. So then I have to do users dot map, and I have to show that thing, users dot map users I will do, and I will show it. I don't want this thing. Okay, I will actually show it directly here, like maybe h1. I just want to show one thing, not many things. So key is equal to user dot id, key is equal to user dot id, because there is a unique ID always there. So user.id is there, and then I will complete this h1, and here I'll do user dot title. I'm going to do user dot title. Title is there or not? Okay, title is not there. User dot name I'm going to do. So you have to see this, you have to refer it back, and I'm going to come here. So my console is open. See one thing, I'll do this, and this is all the user list is coming fine, and this is showing like this. Maybe this should be h3, because okay, so it is showing fine, all of the users are coming fine. So this is how it works. Okay, this is how it works, and all of these things are coming fine. So let me give the attendance form now. Okay, attendance here. Okay, hello. Okay, so this is done, and hope you all are filling the attendance form. And yeah, so actually we are done with this. We're done with today's class, and class-based component is finally done, and we're going to do the hook-based in the next 2 days. We're going to do hook-based. See, class-based generally take 3 days, and hook-based take 2 days. And after that, the projects. So from where to do the projects? I have a lot of projects on my channel. Maybe on the last day I'll give the project link. So you have to do a lot of React project and tag me, and that is the way to get a job. You do 10 React projects, you will get a call for hundreds of HRs. And if you're going to tag me, you're definitely going to get tag me on LinkedIn. Means that is my main profile is there. I have around 20,000 connections there, connected with almost everyone in the industry. So this is not the first time someone is getting job because of that. A lot of people have got job. And recently only one of my student got a job. Means he's from one of my paid boot camp. But in my paid boot camp, I make sure that the people always share their projects on the LinkedIn. So when they share their projects on the LinkedIn, people can notice the boot camp is not yet complete, and he got a job before that. So how cool is it? Okay, so that is that, like that. And his name is Moin Khan. You can go and check it on my LinkedIn profile. He just today posted he got a job. Okay, so that is like this. And with this we will end today. What is and do? I don't know what Prashant is asking. And do, and what is and do? I don't understand what is and is and is and operator in the if statement. It's a thing of the if statement. If I'm sure, if you're asking about if statements, if statements you're gonna have and, so it is like that. Okay, so with this, it means that both Oh, you're asking this and okay. Got it. Okay, so yeah, that's a very good question, but I have actually just stopped the sharing. Okay, let me do one thing. That's a very good question. So I want to answer this question. Okay. So Prashant just asks, what does this and do? What does this and do? And is a short circuit operator. Okay, and is known as a short circuit operator. What happens if this thing is true? Then only it will go here. As I've told the first time, what will happen? First time, what will happen? This is an empty string. This is actually it will come like this empty array. As I've told that API call generally take 1 or 2 minutes. So React is very fast. The moment it will load it will load this thing and it will come here and it will come here. If I don't give these things, it will give me an error. In most of the cases nowadays, sometimes I see that error doesn't come, but earlier time it used to come a lot. That error used to come a lot. So what I need to do, I need to check whether the API call has been done and I got the data, because if I didn't got the data and I try to map through it, it will say that undefined is there. So what I'm checking first, that if the users, okay, if I only see this users, what does it do? It do that whether it is full or not. So this is a shortcut kind of thing. React and JavaScript, there is something known as truthy and falsy values. So you go check it them out, truthy or falsy values, or maybe I will only tell truthy value, truthy, truthy and falsy JavaScript. So this is very important. Everything is JavaScript only. So truthy and falsy values in JavaScript. So actually this thing is like okay okay like falsy, I think, okay, falsy or something like this. Okay, and then users dot length is there. When there is no data, what is the users dot length? Users dot length is 0, and 0 is actually a false value. So it will not go there. It will not go there, go inside there, and it will end here only if there is no data is there. But once the data is there, what it will do, it will go there and do the users dot map. If some users is full, it will come here. Then I'm doing a double checking. I should not have done this checking, but it's always good to have double checking. If users dot length is not 0, then it will go here. And an operator is something like that. It checks something, and if it is there, then only it goes to the right hand side. So this is how it works. And that's a very good question. That's how I answered it. Okay, so with this that was a very good question, Prashant, and we will end this today's session here, and I'll meet tomorrow on the day 4. Thank you all.